If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hello, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the time of day it is for you that you are joining me. I hope that it has been blessed for you. I am Asha Salika, and I am the host of Authenticity the Hard Way podcast. This episode is going to be a little rough physically and emotionally, as they all are, not so much physically, but I have been sitting here for about an hour trying to figure out just how to go about this. And I almost thought myself out of it. One of those things, you need to start thinking too much and trying to get things just perfect. But what's perfect, So here's the thing. Two things to begin with. My voice and my speech are off. I have a tremendous tooth infection. And as I'm recording this, my lower left jaw is swollen. My cheek is hanging. All along the gum line, right at the crease of where my lips meet on the side of my cheek. There's a ball of fluid there. The left part, my lips are swollen, and there's moderate pain right now. So that is why, if I sound like I'm talking funny, it's because I am. Secondly, if you should hear some gurgling, offensive sounds, it's my stomach. I have been, let me see, today is Thursday. I have been on antibiotic and 800 milligram ibuprofen since Sunday. The pain has been so intense with this. I was taking 3 800 milligram ibuprofen almost every 6 hours. So my gut is very unhappy. So please bear with me as I'm going to put this pillow over my stomach. Maybe it won't be so loud. Ouch. No laughing. But this is what this episode is about. And I also may begin to cry because I am in the process of a deep healing as a result of this infection. So, in essence, this episode is literally authenticity the hard way in motion. Me experiencing something very painful physically, which has awakened, enlightened, made me aware of an emotional illness that I did not know was laying beneath the surface. And it's fresh. I'm so grateful to be able to do, let me rephrase that. I am so grateful for my decision, for my action, for getting this podcast up and running. I am grateful and proud of myself for biting the bullet 2 years ago, or however many years ago it was, to do this. Because in the culmination of time and me doing this, I have learned so much about myself. And being able to speak about it and share it has transformed me in the doing of that. So right now I'm sitting here and tears are flowing because of how proud I am of myself. First of all, for anyone making the decision to work on themselves truthfully, not as we've been kind of conditioned to do, New Year's resolutions, and every new year we decide we're going to become better, we're going to do more, we're going to, blah, blah, blah. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about consciously, purposefully shining all bright lights on yourself and making a concerted, focused decision to be better. That is a hard thing to do because it is hard work. And a lot of times people make those decisions because they want to be better for someone else. They're in a relationship and the relationship is rocky, so they want to fix themselves to hold on to the relationship or something along that lines. I'm not talking about that either. I am talking about making the decision to become better because you want to become better, because you want to be a better person, because you are tired of living a certain way. You're tired of waking up tired. You're tired of being sick and tired. You're tired of negative things always happening to you. You believe that there has to be a better life for you, and you are willing, by all righteous means necessary, to ascertain that better life, to evolve into something greater. And that is actually an innate, but it's within us. That is the spiritual, the trueness of who we are. That is our spiritual self, wanting more expression, wanting to be truly involved and engaged in this human experience, which is why our spirits came here in the first place. So having said all that, I'm proud of myself because this has not been an easy road. It has not been. It's been very hard. Very hard. So at this moment right now, I am currently in the midst, right in the middle of a transformative experience. And I hope I can make it through this without breaking down. But you know what? If I do break down, so be it. Y'all just work with me. So let me see. How do I want to say? And like I said, in I don't know, many of my episodes, I don't have a script. I'm following my intuition, which is the best guide I know of. I have had this tooth. And now that I think about it, this is actually my second episode. In season 1, I did an episode of, I think I had my wisdom tooth removed. Yeah, that was also a major event. So anyway, I have this tooth from the bottom left side. I don't know what you call it. I know it's number 21 because of the x-ray, and the dentist marked it 21. But I think it's like right underneath. It's an eye tooth, I guess you call it. I don't know. It was discolored for years. And the discoloration just kept kind of getting worse. It wasn't anything major, nothing, really ugly, like I smile and people be like, ah. It wasn't anything like that. But it was discolored at the bottom of it by the gum line. And I've been to plenty of dentists down through the years. I'd say about, 10 years since it started discoloring, I believe. And I've been to dentists. Not one dentist addressed it. Plenty of x-rays. Nothing alerting. No pain. I brush. I floss regularly. No pain whatsoever. So I never thought anything about it. In October, during the summer, I started seeing a new dentist, and she talked about it. And she said, you know what, this discoloration right here will set you up so that we can drill it out. It might be a cavity under there, but with no pain, maybe not. But she wanted to drill out, the discoloration and put a white filling over it. So October, she went in, drilled into the side of the tooth. It's on the side of the tooth, facing out. And she said that there's decay in there. And I'm thinking, that's interesting. And she said, well, I'm going to drill it out and, get it cleaned up. And because she didn't put me on any antibiotics or anything like that, I'm thinking it's no big deal. She said, I'm going to keep an eye on it because you may need a root canal. Now, right there, I thought to myself, but it was a quick thought. Why would you say that? If it's not a big deal, not a big deal and root canal in the same sentence, that doesn't go together. if you're going to watch it because it may need a root canal, then there's something that should be done now to prevent it from becoming a root canal. That was my thought. But still no pain or anything. So I'm like, okay. And she's a dentist, she knows what she's talking about. She put the filling over it and went on about my business. Whew. Today is Thursday. Last Wednesday, it started feeling sensitive right along the gum line. It was sporadic. And I thought, because I had stopped using Sensodyne for sensitivity, I thought maybe, it was just sensitive. I need to start using the toothpaste again. But it was starting to trigger pain throughout the lower part of my mouth. And I'm thinking, well, that's nerve. If it's shooting like that, that has to be nerve. But it wasn't enough to scare me or anything like that. Like, okay, I'm looking at the tooth, I don't see anything, blah, blah, blah. I started taking Motrin and Tylenol, alternating, rinsing my mouth out. And it was so sporadic, but when it did hit, it was starting to hit with more intensity. But I was and I'm thinking, it wasn't sensitive to the touch or anything. I was like, okay, it'll go away. Come Saturday, the pain was more prominent and more persistent. And I noticed that as I bit down, I could feel, it wasn't a major pain, but it was noticeably discomfortable. Uncomfortable. So Sunday morning, I wake up and my face is swollen, my jaw is swollen, cheekbone is swollen, cheek area is swollen, and the pain was bad. I went to the emergency room. Without even looking at me, the dentist says, oh, maybe it's some erosion at the gum line. Maybe, might be a small cap. Oh, no, wait. Let me back up. 2 weeks ago, I had a checkup. Yeah, this is important. 2 weeks ago, I had a checkup. And the dentist did x-ray, and everything is fine. She looked at each tooth. She looked at the x-ray. Everything's fine. You are good. If you have any problems, contact us. But I'll see you in about 6 months. You're doing great. And I'm happy. Ooh, good report from the dentist. Okay, then after that checkup, last Wednesday. Okay, so the pain starts. Sunday in the ER, and I tell the doctor, I'm like, look, I just saw my dentist. She said there was no problem, and now this thing just kind of is erupting. Like at this point, I'm in severe pain. She said maybe a part of the filling broke off near your gum line. She gave me all these possibilities without even having looked in my mouth, first of all. And then she did look, and she's like, oh yeah, you have some swelling down there, but I don't think it's an abscess. It just looks like some edema, just some swelling in there. Well, swelling means something bad. So anyway, they give me a steroid shot, 2 pain pills, and prescription for antibiotic, and told me to see my dentist as soon as possible in the morning. So Monday morning, I'm feeling good, and because I had been taking so much so much ibuprofen, I wanted to go for a light run just to kind of get things flowing. It was a bad idea, but it felt good. Anyway, I went for a run, and after the run, clearly the steroid wore off, the pain medication wore off, and pain exploded in that area. It was about a little bit after 8 in the morning, and I was away from home at the track. So I start calling the dentist immediately. Dentists often office open at 8. They didn't answer the phone until 8:50. I had gone to the store to get me something to eat before I took any more Motrin. And I'm calling back to back. 8:54, the receptionist answers the phone. I explained to her what's going on. She said, "Oh, you could come in right now. We'll take you as a walk-in. Just come in." I ran home, came home, grabbed the Motrin, jumped in the car in my water, and just went straight over there. Didn't take the medicine, no. I get there, and the receptionist tells me, "Oh, the dentist was standing here. She heard you on the phone describing what was going on, and she said that she remembers thinking that that tooth would need a root canal at some point." And I'm trying to control, I'm in so much pain. I'm in tears right now, and I'm thinking to myself, so you kind of set me up for this. Like, if you knew this was going to happen, should have took preventative measures to prevent it. So anyway, I get in the chair. They do an x-ray and had me biting down on that hard plastic thing. And I'm crying. I'm in so much pain. I'm crying. She comes in. She looks at it. She says, "I'm going to give you 800 milligram Motrin." I told her I already had antibiotic. She'll take your antibiotic, and you'll have to take up to 3 of these Motrins, this ibuprofen at a time, because the pain will get that bad. I'm referring you over here to a specialist so that they can get you set up for the root canal. 15-minute drive over there, and my body is beginning to shut down. I'm shaking. I'm nauseous. I'm getting a little bit incoherent, but I'm trying to keep it together. The way they sent me over, I'm thinking, if you say they're going to take care of me, they're going to deal with this, I'm thinking, you're about to be my forerunner. You're going to let them know I'm on my way, and I'm sending over x-rays or whatever to get this ball rolling. No. I walk in there 2 hours. Over 2 hours I was there. I had to fill out registration paperwork over the phone. I had been waiting for it to clear on my phone for about 10 minutes before I thought, get up and go over here, tell this lady that your paperwork is still loading. And I showed her the little, loading thing on my phone. And she said, "Oh, let me check to see. Oh, yeah, I got your registration. I just didn't see it pop up on the screen. I'll get your chart up right now." This was about 45 minutes into, or 30 minutes into me being there. Then 30 minutes more, I'm waiting to be called. People are being called ahead of me left and right. I'm shivering now. I'm nauseous. I'm like, I'm about to pass out. I go up, I tell the lady, "Look, I'm in distress here." She said, "Oh yeah, I see. You've been here for a long time." She goes, gets the x-ray guy, who's about 87. And he calls me back immediately because she went and got him. And he says, "I'm so sorry. We're having internet issues. So it's taking the x-rays a long time to load." 20 minutes I was in there with him for him to try and get more x-rays, to get x-rays on this tooth. And I'm thinking to myself, my x-rays should have been sent over from my primary dentist. Anyway, he's making me bite down on that hard plastic thing more, and tears are just coming, and he's like, "I'm so sorry." I get out. He gets the x-rays done. I get out. I go sit down waiting for the dentist to call me. Another 20 minutes. At this point, I'm leaving. I go tell the lady, "I'm going home. I can't do this. I'll just go to the emergency room." Okay. She gets up. She goes, "Oh, coincidentally, she can come back now." I see the dentist. He snatches my bottom lip down, forces me to open my mouth wide so he can see in there. Which tooth is it? Why are you asking me which tooth it is? It says right there on that referral. Oh, you have a referral. Oh, 221. Oh, this one right here. He's taking his metal tool and he's tapping on the teeth, around on my teeth. When he finally hits the right one, shivers go through my whole body. He says, oh, this one. Okay. This one right here. Yeah, root canal. Okay. He tells his assistant, she needs antibiotic. I said, no, I have antibiotic. He said, oh, she needs pain medicine. No, I have that. Oh, well, what kind of antibiotic? I said, Augmentin. He said, no, what kind of antibiotic? Augmentin is an antibiotic. Oh, okay. Why am I having to tell you that that's... Honey, listen. It was everything that I could do not to act the fool in there. He says, send authorization. She has everything she needs. Send authorization. And he walks out. His assistant told me that I needed to wait and have a consultation with their coordinator so she can explain the authorization process. I said, no. I know it could be 2 to 6 weeks. I know all these things. If she needs to talk to me, tell her to call me. I'm going home. And I walked out in tears. I still had to drive back to my doctor's office where the dentist was, or to the pharmacy to get the ibuprofen, then drive home. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. And I'm tossing back the ibuprofen. It felt like the lower part of my jaw was just going to explode outward and I was going to die. That's what it felt like. And the swelling kept getting worse and worse. I'm doubling up on the antibiotic to get it in my system. And I'm doing my research, right? And I find out that certain antibiotics will make it has to draw the infection out, so symptoms may get worse before they get any better. This is horrible. This was on Monday. Today is Thursday, and I'm still in pain. Not as bad as it was. Still a lot of pain though. So anyway, during these Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, during these 3 days, I have been searching for the why. And this is what I have learned to do down through the years. When something major happens, there's a why. There's always a why. I have never believed in coincidences. Not ever have I believed that things just happen by chance. There is a reason for everything. And so I have spent a lot of time in quiet, a lot of time being mindful. And I tell you, being in pain will make you be mindful. Certain times I've just sat on my bed in lotus position and drop into a place of stillness. And I don't know if I can explain this, but consciously go into my tooth and speak to the pain, speak calmness to my own body, to keep the panic out and put spirit in, so to speak. Still wondering why. So yesterday morning, I woke up early morning and I'm sitting during my communion time and I'm just in this deep meditative state. And 2 women came to mind. And this part where I'm going into is connected with my previous episode when I talked about how my body forced me to embrace my true calling. And in the previous episode, I explained about how in the job that I was in October, when school year started in August, the new school that I was working at with young adults, how I witnessed abuse, mental and emotional abuse of a young man, wheelchair bound, in special ed department. So if you want more about that, I encourage you to listen to the previous episode. But a snapshot of it is, like I said, this young man was tormented, he had a phobia, and he was forced to deal with it in a very harsh and inappropriate way. He was terrorized and he was abused, and I witnessed it. I spoke up about it, and I was immediately moved. That event surfaced during my meditation yesterday morning. But first I was prompted, actually I was, the two women that worked at that school that I worked with came to mind. And I felt, and I was urged to reach out to both of them during text message, and because my previous episode that I did, going back and reliving that experience brought some more healing to me, and so I wanted to share that episode with them because they were involved in it. So I sent them text messages, and I sent the link to the episode. And one of the ladies responded immediately to my text. And in her text, she said, "Miss Asha, I told you that I did not like what they did to you." She went on to explain some things in text. She was able to speak with the young man's mother who was abused. And in her text, she said that his mother wanted her to thank me for being her son's voice. And when I read that, it was like a light dawned on me. And I called her immediately, in tears. And she explained how everything went down after I was gone, how she was able to make contact with his mother, and just really went into detail about his mother, his family, the things that have happened since I've been gone. And she told her that it was me that went and made the noise that drew the attention to what happened. And she said, "Well, where is she?" And my friend had to tell her, "Oh, they moved her. They got rid of her." And I asked her to give his mother my phone number. After that conversation, I sat still and realized that I was still hurting. Now, when it happened, I knew that I believe in the chakra system. And I knew that having spoken And the way I did, being brave enough to speak up on what I saw, I knew that the way that played out shook me at my root chakra. And our root chakra is our sense of security. It's our foundation. It's our basic need chakra. Or is it the sacral? It's one of the two. I get them mixed up, but I believe it's the root chakra. I knew that chakra had been knocked out of balance because my whole sense of security was destroyed. My finances were hit. I got sick. My base, my foundation had been rocked, and I knew that I needed to heal from that. But yesterday, Spirit, I'm telling you, it was like my room was filled with angelic beings. The spirit of like all of heaven was right here with me and helped me to understand that not only was my root chakra affected, but also my throat chakra. And our throat chakra is our voice, our self-expression. And Spirit took me on a journey through my past when I was a little girl. And I never talked. I was so afraid of my father. He was so mean to me. I spoke very little as a little girl. As I got older, when I would say something, he degraded me. I went through bullying at school. I was a very quiet person. I found self-expression through physical activity, running, working out, and writing. Those were my forms of expression, but I did not speak a lot. I became a bodybuilder, and that was my basic for the greatest self-expression. But I was saying that I'm different. I was using my body as my canvas or my sculpting my body to express the strength that I knew that I had inside. Nobody would listen to me, so I did it physically. And then I got married and became even more quiet because I was not welcomed into the family. And then the revelation hit that the eruption of the pain in this tooth, because our mouth, the throat chakra, resides over our teeth, our mouth, our throat, the back of our neck. It's our expression. And that tooth held the decay of all of the expression that I was never able to release. And it just sat there and decayed. And that is how I lived. I've always had the desire to speak and to express myself. But I was always ridiculed. And it always felt like no one listened to me. So the mental and emotional pain of that found its way to express itself in that tooth. And that's what happens. Our mental body, our emotional body, our spiritual bodies express their need through our physical body. That is the basis of disease. People don't teach this. This is a metaphysical type thing. This is because it's not proven by, well, actually that's not true. It is pushing itself more to the forefront as scientists and the scientific world are starting to understand that the body, that our inner body, the condition of our inner selves manifests through our physical body, through disease, sickness, illness. I don't know how many years of decay, of lost expression, the need and desire to be heard festered in this tooth. And I know this to be a real thing because I used to suffer from terrible migraines before they even knew what migraines were. And it was because of the pressure of living a life that was not my own and trying to fit in where I did not belong. And it was weighing so heavily on my mind till my brain, the organ of the mind, was seizing from. It's kind of a rough explanation of a migraine, but to the point where I had a doctor say, you need to get out of that family. I could give you medication for this migraine, but you need to get out of that family. I had a doctor tell me that. Then I had tremendous back pain for the majority of my adult life. And the back pain in my lower back, which was security, which was the support that I needed, all that. All this is aligned with the chakras in our body. And I've been studying this for years. And I know it to be true because it's played out this way in my life. So as I'm having this highly emotional, spiritual breakthrough, I had to ask, why now? Why now is this tooth doing this? Why now? And the answer I received is because you're ready to move to the next level. It has been my focus, evolution, evolving into the next version of myself has become the umbrella under which my whole existence now resides. And I have become so mindful to the point where I am a living meditation. And every part of me I am checking from moment to moment. If I think a thought that I know is not right, that's negative in nature, I'm following it. Where'd that come from? Why? There's pain in me that I didn't know was there. And it stemmed from being moved out of my position. I was signed on a contract to work at this school for the entire year. My family, my daughter and I we had our finances lined up to that, everything. And that incident was broken down. And then immediately getting sick. So I did not focus on healing from that until yesterday, when I realized that the eruption of this decay, this bacteria, this infection in my tooth is my spiritual self saying, it's time to get it out. It's time to make peace with that event. It's time to evolve out of that and move up higher. Period. This is part 2 of the last episode, where my body has forced me into authenticity. I didn't know I was still hurting from that. I didn't know that I was still second guessing my own voice until this pain that made its way through my entire head. It's my calling is to speak. My gift is healing through speaking, through writing, through my physical presence in this realm. It's why I'm here. I am a healer. And the scripture says, physician, heal thyself. And I am on a major healing curve. But my body had to let me know that it has been storing up years of pain, years of decay, of words that were never spoken, of stories that I never wrote. And why now? Because I have been declaring that 2025 is my breakthrough year. This is my year. And in order to break through, some things have to be broken down first. And fear of communication, fear of not being heard, fear of being misunderstood must be removed. Thinking about this, they said that I have to have a root canal. And that is befitting because what is happening mentally, emotionally, and spiritually for me is that there is a digging down into the canal of my soul and getting rid of decay of years of fear, of being true, who I truly am. Well, deep root canal getting to the root of the source of the pain. That, my friends, is authenticity the hard way. I have gotten myself to the point where I am living to be the most authentic version of myself with an abandonment. I am willing to go through the fire. My OD on some ibuprofen on the way. But I'm going to get there. And I say to you, that version of yourself that you want to be, got some work to do. You have to face the hard stuff. You have to. And it's going to hurt. And it's going to be scary. I thought I was going to die. Look, I thought my head was going to bust open. What? And I'm not done yet. My face is still swollen. I don't know how long the authorization is going to take. I don't know. But I know I'm going to make it through this. And on the other side of that will be no more pain. And on the other side of me doing the work to heal from this experience, from that experience that I didn't know I was still hurting from, it's a new version. Like, I know where I'm going. I'm going into a new realm of confidence, a new realm of Asha, from a higher place. More joy, more peace, more wisdom, more understanding. Which all translates to an ease. Like you know how they do upgrades on on our phones, our computers, cars get upgraded, all these different things. It's an upgrade, which means that I will be able to function at a higher level. I'm excited. I'm becoming new. And I'm excited. But I'm also wise enough to know that, okay, we about to do this, Asha. But understand, at this higher level, at this higher version, there will be other things to face. The old saying is new level, new devil. Okay. But I know that whatever comes my way, it is for a specific reason. This what hit me last night after the third 800 Motrin kicked in about 10:45 last night. I could have looked at this thing, this tooth, like, why is this happening to me now? Anything. Why is this happening to me? Why do things like this always happen to me? But in a split second, I had another revelation. And girl, this is not happening to you. This is happening for you because there is a reason for it. Life does not happen to us, friends. Life happens for us. Sickness, disease doesn't happen to us. It happens for us to alert us that there is something going on that needs our attention. And if you are aware and you are awake and you are actually living, then you will take that and fix it instead of sitting back, wallowing in it. That is a big paradigm shift. Paradigm shift. Things don't happen to us. They happen for us. Am I grateful for this pain? Yes and no. Pain hurts. But I've grown. I've grown. I'm thinking of this tooth infection as birth. Through this experience, through this pain, a new version of myself is being birthed. That feels, I can't even smile right. That hurt. This is a good thing. I ain't want to know what else. Doing this podcast right now in this pain is a part of that birth. Sharing this with you is a part of my authentication. Yes, it is. Thank you for being with me, for listening to me. I hope that by sharing this experience, you can use this to shed light on something that you are going through something that is happening for you. I am just going to leave you with that. Nothing is happening to you, honey. It's happening for you. Until next time, keep that in mind. And look, continually keep your eyes upward and train on that next version you are becoming.